Fanatic. We're over on the workbench now. I just want to show you the carbon fiber AC vent overlays that are going to go on the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. But they make these for the standard Giulia, the Quadrifoglio, the Stelvios, and vice versa. So just wanted to show you guys quick. These are a thin, autoclaved, real carbon fiber piece. This is not like a laminate. This is not fake. These were very expensive, and you guys could see there, it's got the correct twill pattern, and it's finished in a high gloss clear, so it matches the rest of the interior. So I think the reason I did this on the driver's side of the car, there's not any carbon fiber. On the passenger side, there's a long strip that goes along the dash. I think these are going to add a really nice aesthetic. And the way these fit, and the way these were designed in the mold, that there's a little tolerance between the carbon fiber and the actual plastic housing of the AC vent. So these are designed to be bonded on. And there's a number of different ways you could do it, and I'm just going to explain to you a couple of them today. The way I'm going to do it today is the 3M 8223. That's just my glue of choice and the method of choice, because it's going to form a permanent bond to the factory AC surrounds. So we're going to go prep all the plastic with some alcohol prep pads. These are great to have in your toolbox. You can pick these up at any pharmacy. And got acid brush. I got some plastic razor blades to spread the glue as I apply it. 8223, got my razor blades. Now, another way you could do this, which I don't really like, and the company that sold it to me was telling me that you could do it like this with, you know, some 3M VHB tape. The only problem is with the VHB tape, when you load it up on the inside, it's not going to make this piece fit flush up against the factory piece. This has an overlapping edge that fits into the undercut of the silver surround that's part of the factory vent. So if you do it like that, you're going to have a tolerance issue. It's not going to look as good. You could do it, but it's just not going to look as good. So what we're going to do, we're going to prep the plastic on the car. We're going to prep these guys, and then we're going to apply a bead of the 8223. And I have 3 tips here, because we're going to use 1 tip for the driver's side, 1 tip for the passenger side, and 1 tip for the rear, on the rear of the console, because I could get to the rear vents both at the same time. I can't juggle between the driver's side and the passenger side. By the time this starts to exotherm and get hard, it's going to cause an issue. So that's why I have 3 tips there. So something I want to show you guys, and it's very important, and this applies to anything. If you're putting a spoiler on a car, a skirt kit, something around the house, whenever you're doing glue ups, and you're going to throw a bead of glue down, a lot of people will tend to put the glue right along the edge. Now, the problem with that is when the part fits up against something else, there's going to be squeeze out. The squeeze out's going to come out. It's going to make a mess. You're going to go crazy trying to clean up this edge, and you're going to drive yourself nuts. The proper way to do this, and I have a white crayon here, is if you're going to do a 1/4 of an inch bead of glue, my method of doing it is go a 1/2 inch from the outer edge. So you go from here and you go in about a 1/2 inch, would probably be somewhere around there. So that's going to give you enough room when you press these parts or any part or whatever you're working on together. It's going to give enough squeeze out to come this way and to go in. And that's going to give you enough contact surface to really form a permanent bond. Now, in this particular case today, we're not going to do a 1/4 of an inch bead. These things are so small. We're going to do an 1/8 of an inch bead, and we're probably going to go about 3/8 of an inch in all the way around. And I'm going to mark it here, and I'm just eyeballing it, just so you have an idea what I'm doing. So you're going to throw your bead of glue down here, and you're going to keep your height of the bead of glue small, because we don't really need a lot for this. This is not a structural part. But if it was a body part on a car, you would probably want to use a 1/4 of an inch bead of glue, and you're going to want to maybe stagger where you put it. And that's just from, you know, the way body kits are supposed to be done in custom cars and stuff like that I've been working on. So that's pretty much it. Those are a couple of quick tips. Let's go over to the car, and I'm going to show you how we're going to prep this right now with the alcohol, and we're going to get set up, and we're going to get these mounted in a couple of minutes. All right, guys, so we're over at the driver's side AC vent, and you guys can see here, this is a smooth plastic. And we're not going to use any kind of solvent, like harsh solvent, to eat this up. We're not going to use mech. We're not going to use a plastic adhesion promoter. We just don't need it. It's not a structural application right now. So we're just going to take the alcohol prep pad, and these are totally safe. And this is going to just remove any oils, from people touching it. If you cleaned your car with any kind of cleaner or interior detailer and it got on there, this is just going to make sure that the surface is clean enough to form a good bond with the dual mix 3M glue we're going to be using. Now, another reason why I want to do a permanent bond on these panels, on these carbon fiber pieces to the vents, is to service the car. These pieces would pop out as one whole unit. So if you use VHB tape or any other kind of non-permanent method, when they go to pull on it, they're most likely going to crack the carbon fiber. They're going to probably break the vent, and then you're going to have to go buy a whole new set. So by making it a permanent fixture to the original part, when they go to pull it, if you have to go for any reason to get anything done in this car or any of your cars, and they pull it out, you're going to be rest assured that when they pull on it, it's not going to crack and it's not going to break. So that's just a little word of advice for anybody out there that's going to kind of do stuff. And, you know, maybe you don't want to do it as a permanent installation, but that's some of the things you got to think about, is the serviceability of the modifications or what you're going to do to your car. And on the rear of the car, I'm using a new alcohol prep pad. And these things just work great. You guys could probably see there's a little bit of junk that's coming off there. And we're also going to use some heat when we place the carbon fiber overlays on the vents. We're going to use some heat to manipulate them and make sure they're perfectly in position. So that's pretty much it. The prep is painless, real easy. Let's go over to the bench, and we're going to get stuff started, but we want to give this enough time to evaporate. We don't want to have any residue of the alcohol. As the glue starts to hit, it could cause a reaction. So we're going to wait about 15 minutes. All right, guys, over on the bench, I got the heat on because it's really cold in the garage, and we don't want to have any issues with condensation. So I got my gun loaded up, and we're going to carefully throw a bead. This is the driver's side. Just like I show you. Okay, now you could use the plastic razor blades to spread this out a little bit and also knock down the height of your bead. Okay, so there we go. Let's get over to the car right away. So I waited a couple of minutes because I want the glue to start to tack up a little bit. And here we go. And that's why you want to use the adhesive versus the VHB tape, because these have to be rotated slightly. And that's that. So the glue already started to kick. So you're going to want to put your heat gun on like a low setting. You just want to heat this up. And the heat will just give you a little bit more positioning time. Okay, so these actually fit pretty good. So that's why you really need the glue, so it could squeeze out and fill in the tolerance of how these are manufactured. Go all the way around, put even pressure. There's no squeeze out on the edge because I didn't pour the glue close to the edge. And that's the trick. So this one's done. We're just going to put some tape on it. And I am going to tape this right to the instrument cluster, like that. You're going to go from here down. And this tape is harmless, just don't leave it on the car for days. And if you're careful, you're not going to cause any issues. So that's pretty much the driver's side done. I'm going to repeat the process to the passenger side, and then we're going to move over to the back. I'll show you the back, and I'll show you the finished results. All right, so we're over on the passenger side, got it in position. Now, the passenger side on this particular install, the carbon fiber is very tight between the dash and the leather on the top section. So you actually have to put it in and rotate it into position. Now, it'll bottom out on this side towards the driver's side because the way it's shaped, it can only go so many degrees towards the right. So once it bottoms out, then you pretty much are just going to push it, get it into position like I show you here, and we're going to squeeze, and that's just going to help spread the adhesive so we get a nice uniform bond, because I put the adhesive all around the perimeter and close to the revealing edge right here, so when it pushes in, it's going to have a permanent bond, and you can hear it. You know, it's not even set up yet, but it's going to be a permanent installation, and that's the right way you're supposed to do stuff like this. So, in position, and just take some more tape. Like that. And any smudges you get on the carbon, you can come back and clean that in a few minutes. So that's it, guys. That's the driver's side and the passenger side front carbon fiber AC vent overlays permanently installed. We're going to come back in 20 minutes, pull the tape off, and move over to the rear of the car. All right, guys, moving right along. We're going to do the rear vent overlays right now. Being that we're going to do both of them at the same time, always mark one of them so you know which one goes where, because like I said, you don't have a lot of working time. So I mark this one as D for driver's side. So we're going to pop on a new tip onto my 8223. I'm actually going to do this with the acid brush because there's even less tolerance on the back vents than the fronts. The fronts had a little bit more room for some glue expansion, but the rears don't. And I like to spread out the glue on my wax mixing pad in little beads like that, and it'll thicken it up pretty quickly. We'll just take the acid brush and we're gonna just brush that in there, because we don't have a lot of tolerance on these. These are really tight. So we pretty much have good, even, flattened out coverage, as you guys can see right there. We're going to put that to the side on the bench. Let's do the other one. Alright, guys, now I'm inside the car. I'm going to pop on passenger side first, loosely, and just get that into position. Like that. Now we're on the driver's side. Go nice and slow. And that's it. So we have no squeeze out coming out of the edge or around the perimeter. And like I said, these fit a lot tighter than the fronts. That's just by the way they were manufactured. Just put some tape on the center console, wrap it all the way around tightly, just like that. We're going to let it cure for about 35 minutes with the heat on in the workshop, and I will unmask everything and pull the car out and show you guys the finished result. Alright, guys, we're all finished up. Just give you guys some close-up shots of the carbon fiber, and it looks freaking awesome. Fits awesome. Install was pretty painless, and I just really think this adds a nice little aesthetic to have some carbon on the outside where you don't have any on the driver's side. Now we have it all the way across the dash on the steering wheel, so it blends in really nice. Back, you can see the carbon fiber backed Sparco seats. Now you have a nice little touch of carbon fiber coming down the center console on the AC vents. It looks awesome, and I absolutely love it. It was definitely worth doing. It definitely breaks up the interior a little bit more and just adds a little bit more coolness to the interior of this car. And you guys can see there, we got carbon on the doors. Hope this video was cool. You guys learned something. Maybe if you guys are going to go out there and do some of the stuff on your cars, you'll get a couple of pointers on how to do it, the prep, the glues that I use, and everything in between. So, see you guys soon. autofanatic@yahoo.com. Stay tuned to my channel and my website for more automotive content, ranging from everything automotive related across the board. So, see you guys soon. Got to get back out and drive. Take care, guys.